Hi, welcome back to Business Talk by Trevetta Sharonville Chamber of Commerce. Once again, my name is Dave Spree. I'm a member of the Chamber and also a local business owner. I own Speed Pro Imaging on East Kemper Road in Sharonville. And we have a couple of very special guests here. This is a real special, and I say this really because I just got to consume the better part of a root beer float. The real standard here in Sharonville, the root beer stand on Reading Road, and the good news is it's been open again for 3 weeks, and we have Scott Donnelly and Eric Burrows here, who are the operators of the root beer stand, here to talk about root beer. So gentlemen, welcome to Business Talk.
Thanks.
Scott's been here before, but it's been a few years, so we needed a root beer float, so we invited him back.
Exactly.
So anyway, how long have you now owned and operated the root beer stand?
23 years I've had it.
And how did you get involved in that?
I grew up with the original owner's daughter. We went through grade school together, and I guess as her parents were getting older, they wanted to kind of get out of it, and one thing led to another, and before I know it, it's root beer stand was mine, you know.
Now, what keeps bringing people back year after year? You just shared a story with me, is that on opening day, it's like, you know, everybody wants to be the first customer.
Like I said, a buddy of his tried to get in. It was 10 till 10, and we're going, everything was ready, but you know, they're pounding on the door just to get in to get that first foot long. But I just think it's tradition, Sharonville tradition, and we've been there for so long, and once the root beer stand open, it's springtime, and you know, you're cutting grass, and baseball starts, and we're ready to go.
A lot of good things tie in with the opening of the root beer stand.
That's right. That's right.
So tell us a little bit about the process of making root beer, but a lot of it starts with your well water.
Right. They've always had a well there. We put in a new well about, I guess, around 10 years ago. It's 240 foot deep. It's the biggest aquifer from Toledo to Mammoth Cave is what they tell me in the United States. So there's plenty of water down there, and that's how we make a root beer. And that's, you know, it tastes, I'm gonna say different, but it tastes good. And we've had the well go down before, and we had to use tap water. It was good, but it didn't taste right. It wasn't the right taste. And that gives us that good bite.
Because people may or may not know that you actually do make your own root beer.
Right, right.
You know, and I guess, you know, there's probably a secret recipe that you can't share with us.
Yeah, I don't want to tell the whole story.
But we'll avoid that. So, tell us about the chili recipe, though.
The chili recipe was the original owner's mother made up the chili recipe, and it was wrote down on a little piece of paper. I think a couple of years ago I finally put it on a different piece of paper, but it's never changed. I mean, it's always been that way, and it will never change. I mean, everybody likes it, and we're keeping that the same.
So, Eric, you're now involved in the root beer stand. Why and how did you decide to get into the root beer business?
Well, I married into the family about 6 years ago. If I'm wrong, my wife will be pretty upset with that, but 6 years ago. And she's worked there since she was 14. I'd been a number of times. I love the atmosphere. I saw how different it was, how special it was, and I thought, you know, this is something I'd really like to take a run at if the opportunity comes up. Aside from just the root beer stand, just being a business owner and things like that, also very appealing. So, you know, Scott and I talked about it over the last couple of years, and I knew that when he was getting close to retirement, that it would be a possibility. And so we finally gotten to the point where we're ready to kind of start that transition, and it's been pretty exciting.
So is it everything you thought it would be? In the 3 weeks you've been involved in it?
For the 3 weeks I've been there, you know, it's so much more than whatever you could think. You know, I'd be lying if I said I expected everything. There's no way to be able to comprehend what it means to switch from what I used to do, which was graphic design and sit behind a desk, which did for 7 years after graduating college, to, you know, constantly be moving and working and dealing with customers and thinking about every little thing. You know, parts of it are just being in a different type of business. Parts of it are being an owner of a business. So absolutely not everything I expected, so much more than that.
So, you know, are there any changes that you might make in the future?
You know, I said to myself when I started...
You can tell me. Your father-in-law doesn't need to know.
Right,
It'll just be
right.
between you and me.
Well, I always said, you know, one thing I learned from past jobs that I've had is, you know, whenever a new manager or a new person came in and instantly wanted to make a lot of changes, you know, I never liked it, because there's a way that things are done, and you need to know the reason for that before you want to change them. You can't just come in and make changes, because especially in a business like this, like Scott has said, it's been around for a very, very long time. So things are done in a way that works. And so, yes, there are changes I want to make, but it's too early to say what those will be. But I would definitely say everyone who kind of has done the root beer stand in the past has had their own touch or their own things that they, you know, changed or altered. So.
Well, one thing you mentioned is that, you know, you've kind of driven a stronger effort into social media.
Absolutely.
And part of that is some of these T-shirts that we have here. If you want to kind of share what you brought here for show and tell.
Yeah, it was a couple years ago, and you know, social media has been around for a little while now, but still something that businesses are using more and more. And you know, Scott was still running the root beer stand. Obviously, I've been involved to some degree for a while, just because I'm part of the family. But
well, and this first one Scott was just holding, that's the first place winner this year in the
yeah.
what contest you had.
Right.
What was this year's logo contest? Or
yeah,
this
well,
year's
what we did
theme?
was a couple years ago we made the Facebook page. We thought this will be perfect for the root beer stand. It's the perfect type of business. Well, this year I thought, you know, we always do different shirts every year, and we have such a great outlet now to get to our customer base. I thought, well, let's have a T-shirt contest. And coming from the background that I have in graphic design, I designed 7 or 8 different designs. We put them on the Facebook page and just let people vote. And we took the top 2, and that was these 2, and we decided to print the top 2. And this was the winner, and this was second place. And it's been great for 2 reasons. One, because it gives our customers a kind of a say in what we print or what we make.
Because a lot of them, don't they come in and buy a new T-shirt every year?
Exactly.
It's kind of another rite of spring passage or whatever.
We sell a lot of T-shirts, and now that they have some say in which ones we printed, we hope that we'll sell even more T-shirts. But also give us a way to kind of connect with customers in the off-season, because we're obviously a seasonal business. So, you know, December, January, we might not be top of mind, but we really like to crank it up and get people thinking about that first root beer come March. And this was a great way to kind of get people back in the mix and say, hey, we're about to open up in a couple months. Get involved.
Okay, so here's the question everybody wants to ask. Why no French fries?
Oh, that's a good one. You know, it's a lot of people ask that question. A lot of people ask that question. And the easy question is, they're just not good for you. That's what Scott says. He's always said. You know, Scott in the past, I know, has looked at it. I know others have looked at it. There's a couple of different things. Obviously, we know French fries are popular, but you know, there's something neat to not being exactly like every other restaurant and having the exact same offerings. You know, you don't go to a lot of places that have footlongs and chips and popcorn. So maybe there's something to being a little unique.
It's all part of the always leave them wanting more strategy.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, are there any major things that you've noticed that you didn't expect?
There's probably so many. One that comes to mind is just how loyal some of our customers seem to be. Just the fact that I've only been there 3 weeks and I'm already recognizing people that have been there 7, 8, 9 times. I mean, there's a couple guys that I see every single day. And it's...
and they're not relatives.
They're not relatives. These are people that come in and that I recognize that are regulars. And there's so many of those. I'm a little surprised at how many come back just day in and day out. I mean, obviously, I thought there would be, you'd see the same faces, but you know, there's some very fiercely loyal customers, and a lot of people really, really wanting to get that root beer.
Particularly the first one of the season.
Yeah, always.
You know. So, is it beneficial to be a seasonal business?
I think so, in a number of ways. For one, like I said, it gives us that, it separates us a little bit. We're a novelty. We're something special. We're something different than McDonald's is open every single day. But there's something that is special about just being open in the summer. It makes it kind of an experience and something that you have to take time out of your day or drive a little further to go do, because it's not, it's not just stopping to get a bite to eat. It's an experience that people wait for. And
Drive-through. You have to come in.
Exactly.
You have to come in and actually deal with a human being.
Exactly.
Right.
And I think that touches on something that Scott was talking about before. That one thing I think that makes it really special is that it's kind of a slice, or it's kind of a look into the past. It's people like. A lot of things change and a lot of things are changing, and people like to kind of take that little step back in time and remember how things were, in the old days.
Yeah, it's been a standard that's been here for a number of years.
Exactly.
In the first 3 weeks, how has the venture gone? You're still speaking to each other.
Yeah,
so,
we're
so
here,
far,
so
good.
it's going pretty good. No, it's been a learning experience, a lot more to learn, but it's been exciting. It's been very busy, which is always good. The weather wasn't great, but if people didn't brave the weather anyway and come out, it's been wonderful.
So they still drink root beer in the snow?
Yeah.
That first day, it was 35 and snowed all day.
Yeah. When it's hot, nothing better than a cold root beer. When it's cold, nothing better than a hot footlong.
So is there anything else about the root beer stand you'd like to share with us?
We don't have enough time, probably. You can find us on our Facebook page. Like I said, we're very big into the Facebook page, put a lot of pictures up and kind of things, any events that we're doing, and that's facebook.com/therootbeerstand. We also have a website that's just therootbeerstand.com. You can get in touch with us there. We're very good about getting back to you, just try to be as involved as we can with our customers. There's also a mobile site, so if you go from your cell phone, you'll be able to access it that way. And other than that, come in and see us.
I think most people do. That's why it's been here for all these years. So we appreciate you coming in and sharing that. We wish you the best, Eric, in your venture. And Scott, thanks for coming in and sharing, particularly for the root beer floats again. And we appreciate you coming in, and we appreciate all of you tuning in to another Business Talk show brought to you by the Sharonville Chamber of Commerce. Thanks a lot. Here at Speed Pro Imaging, we do all forms of large format digital printing and also graphic design. This would include things like vehicle wraps, full color banners, trade show printing, and even custom cut decals and label prototype work. For more information, give us a call at 513-771-4776 or visit our website at www.speedprocincy.com.